Hello, Screamers. How are we doing today?
What's
Um,
up, fellas?
what's up? Everybody's okay? It's been a
No,
rough day, hasn't it?
it has been a
Yeah,
rough day.
it's been a day. It's definitely been a day.
It's okay. We'll be fine. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Tamon Kane. I'm here with my fellow King Mark, and we have a special guest in the house, Mr. Blaze.
What's up,
And
guys?
welcome to Scream Kings. Um, this is, we're just going to get right into this. There's no way to beat around this. Today has been a very shocking and disturbing day in the land of horror when Melissa Barrera, the star of the Scream reimagining, was kicked off her job. She was fired, and she's no longer the lead of Scream Seven. She's no longer working with the production. She's gone. This is really happening. This is not a false alarm. This is real. So
Child.
this is what really happened.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
We are,
pissed.
yeah,
Yes,
we
you're with us
are.
too, except for critical.
Oh, dang, ain't know we had all these. Okay, okay. Oh my God, these are
Wow,
like, oh, y'all going
Ghostface.
in. Y'all are going in. Okay. So I guess we could break down how the news came today,
I mean, yeah,
Tamon.
it started with a rumor. It all started with a phone call.
Wait, you gotta put your Gale Weathers on. Come on, bring it, Gail. Come on now.
Not it all started with the phone call.
All started.
Uh,
You got now. Let's run it from the top. That's what she did. She said, "Okay, run it back from the top."
Right.
But yeah, today it all started off with a rumor that it was happening in the Twitter communities and in private groups started to go crazy, and so then everyone started fact checking and figuring out what was going on, and then next thing you know, it was officially announced through all publications that Melissa was gone, and it was like a domino effect. It was like it's not true,
mhm,
it's true.
mhm.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. Don't trust these people. It's true.
Right. Mm,
Okay, here we keep going. It's true. And guess what? Oh my God, it's true.
And I
right.
was
I
pissed
saw
the
that
fuck off.
Hollywood Reporter one. I was like,
That's people were holding on like, no,
yeah,
no.
It felt like people were holding on to the clay at them damn heels, but just stepping them fingers. Like,
Yes.
because
I
I
really
was
feel
one
like
of the me and Tamon, he can vouch, and I'm pretty sure Bobby and Mike can vouch too. When somebody posts something, if it's not from Deadline, Hollywood Reporter, or Variety, I tend to be like, let them post it first because some stuff can be true, but
yeah.
then last minute somebody will come out and debunk it, and I'm like, oh
Mhm.
damn. So, but there's still some stuff out there that that doesn't mean other sites can't catch some tea. I'm just want to let y'all know that right now. We got somebody in the audience man that has good tea.
mhm.
Critical Overlord has good tea. It's just that when if I usually hear from like stuff like comic book, obscure stuff like, oh, so and so just got cast in this Marvel movie, and I'd be like, y'all, it's not true, and then come find out it's not true. You know what I'm saying? But they get them hits. But today, it was like you said, a domino effect. It was like some obscure website that we never heard of. They had a paywall because somebody sat there saying, "Yo, this site got a paywall. I can't even read the article." And then somebody said, "Well, I paid to read the
For
article,"
variety.
and
Mhm.
but no, it was Variety.
Not the one who leaked it, but they got the information from Variety. You have to subscribe to them and they have to see what the article
That's
they were.
crazy. Yeah, I think it was like One Take News or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then I'm like, wait a minute, because I was out just minding my own damn business, and then I come home and see this shit, and I'm like, here we go again. But here we
Let's see.
are.
Here we are. Andre says this whole situation is fucked up. I thought they may make up a reason for firing her. Open with the bullshit.
But they were open with the
But they
bullshit.
were open with the bullshit.
I mean, it just seemed like it got worse and worse and worse, because at
Yeah.
first it was like, what did she say? And
Yeah.
then,
It was
people
like
was,
watching the full cycle of grief happening all in real time. And people were
Yeah.
like really having outbursts on the social media. They were like, burn the world to the ground. They were like
Yeah.
people like they were like people like that. And It was interesting to see how everyone was reacting to this terrible.
I think we're sort of like a in the moment feeling, just kind of taking in what you feel. But I'm not sure if people are going to feel the same way about the movie a year and a half from now, by the time that it's out. You know what I mean? I think at that point, the momentum of the excitement and all that sort of thing is going to probably wipe, I won't say completely wipe this over, but like, I don't think that people will feel as devastated about it once the promotional starts flowing and all that's the thing. It is unfortunate because this whole franchise, this part of the franchise, has been building up to a full circle moment with this third film with her character.
Has it?
So it feels like it was just with the way that they built it, these little hints about her mother. Then it just seems like they're sort of building to something. It doesn't feel like the third film would be, or the seventh film would be, a completely different random person who's doing this. It seems like it would be some sort of full circle moment that would include her character not just being a character, but like actually being a centerpiece of the actual story. So I mean, it seems like they're taking more of the 90 approach to horror slashers are coming back. And I say that to say that she could easily, I know this hasn't really happened in a while. My sister reminded me it really hasn't really happened, you know, on a big scale since like Twilight. But she could probably be replaced. I don't see them wanting to just do a whole new story.
So that's a good question. Where do we go from here? Like, how do we pivot?
Yeah, because that's the only thing, honestly, that would make the most sense as far as story goes, is that they keep the character and replace the actress, which it makes unfortunate. I mean, we obviously are attached to our
she's the opening
Scream
for sure,
character, especially since there hasn't been a character in the Scream universe that's ever had to be replaced.
No, it's never.
Never.
And one of on the video that I was sent to by our producer Ricky, the girl in the video, she actually sat there and she said, "This is not the 1980s. We don't do that dynasty stuff. You know, hello Tuesday night."
Yeah, that's what she said.
And I was like, she got a point though, because people gonna be like, who is this bitch? You know what I'm saying?
But it happens, and it seems like it's something that's coming back. If you look at it, it's almost like now the girl from the Interview the Vampire just got replaced recently. They found someone who looks, you know what I mean? So for years they stopped doing it. And I don't know if you guys remember me mentioning Christopher Nolan before, because there's always been this very realistic take, even in movies that are more fantasy or horror, that you just kind of do things in a realistic format. You don't replace the person. But it seems like that format of replacing actors and not substituting them for other characters that are similar to them or all that sort of thing, seems like that resurgence of replacing the actor and just keeping the story, it seems like that's coming back. So I mean, I'm not happy about that, but it just sucks.
What have you seen that in? Because I haven't seen that play out on anything.
Oh gosh, like I said before, Twilight, Interview with the Vampires coming. And there was one on the tip of my tongue just before you asked me that too. But I mean, it's always been a thing in Hollywood. Are you talking about a more present?
No, I know in recent years. I know it's a thing. Speaking of recent years.
I mean, and they were actually considering it during the whole Aquaman thing, just before, you know, the whole verdict with that had came out. That was a possibility at that point. But I mean, like I said, Interview with the Vampire is a really big show right now, and the girl had other commitments with Avatar. So they had to replace that actress for that. So it's definitely something that's been happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with Interview with the Vampire, I feel like it was, because I don't know, I'm not trying to do spoilers, but we know that Claudia is not, I'm just gonna leave it at that because you have not read the book. So
well, see, I don't know if there's, they've been changing a lot of things though.
Yeah, but we know something. I mean,
some things you don't.
Yeah, because I will spoil the hell out of this and not even.
No, we got real horror fans in. They know what's up.
Yeah, because I'm like, unless they do a switch or rule,
but they're
like, oh my god,
a lot of story arcs of the series though, so they might have even changed something like that. Maybe she did it.
So I have a question for you. If we were to recast Sam, who would you recast her as?
Well, that's another. You want me to let you go first?
No, please. I have no.
Well, that was actually something that I was thinking about all day today, and unfortunately, just because of the way that people of color don't really get these opportunities a lot, and unfortunately, there aren't a lot of Latin actresses that are of this age range and that have that look that are maybe even unknown, that or maybe even a little bit known, that you could really think of, because we don't really have a variety of Hispanic and Latin women that people know in mainstream. You know what I mean? You have to kind of go to like a whole nother era of women that are, you know, probably within their late to early 40s. And you know, just this girl likely would be who, if they did do a recasting, she would probably be another unknown. And not that Melissa was unknown before, but this is what's made her, you know, it took her stardom to a different level. I know she had other things that were going on way before Scream, but I think that this is what's kind of made her, kind of put her on a different level than where she was before.
So if we were not to cast an unknown, and I don't disagree with you, I think casting an unknown is the safest way to do that without feel like you're pissing on Sam's work. Not saying that this is my solution that I will go with, Mark. I'm just providing feedback on.
No, I'm just saying instead of recasting anybody, cancel this goddamn movie.
I know
that's my whole stance on it. I'm just saying I want to make that known. That's my stance. I wanted to be known. Is I know me and Tamon be going all day about this, and I'm like, I'm just stayed firm on canceling this movie until if you felt that strongly about it, just cancel the movie altogether. And I say that in the sense that because the optics, no matter what was said, the optics on the studio side looks very, very bad. Number one, we got, you know, I know it's not gonna be canceled. I'm just saying they need to cancel it because it's not gonna make any sense storyline wise, and nobody's gonna buy it. See, they trying to match the box office numbers that came from this year's Scream 6. I mean, I don't think they're gonna get that next year. That all this stuff coming on, because they better be glad they got their box office numbers without Sidney Prescott. You know what I'm saying? So the optics with it is, one, you seem like you don't know how to treat your leading ladies when it comes to y'all's franchises. You know, you got Neve Campbell, who carried this franchise from, you know, inception all the way to now. You know what I'm saying? And y'all can ask her for no money. But y'all can give her the money she was asking for. I'm pretty sure she wasn't asking for a goddamn Brad Pitt or Jennifer Aniston payday. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure she was asking for a substantial amount. Then you cooped all this money from Scream 6, and then this shit happens with Melissa Barrera, and you're like, okay, we could just get rid of you too. It's just like, but you don't understand that these women are what carry this franchise. And it's just, there's that. And then there's this whole thing about, I'm trying to say this, and this is my own, this is not reflecting on Scream Kings in as a whole, but it just seems to me that y'all are proving her right by, you know, protecting the money and not, you know, I mean, that's your job at the end of the day. Even Neve Campbell said it in a interview she did to this past weekend at Monster Mania. She said that there's somebody's job at the top of the chain that has to protect the money, but it just seems like, you know, fuck story, fuck you know, fandom. They're gonna give us they're gonna take what they give. They're gonna take what we give them, and we're gonna recoup their money. Cam, look. No, what is he talking about, Cam?
Let me just say this, because Neve Campbell did an amazing job with the first half of this series. We all know that. Right. The difference between Neve Campbell and Melissa, though, is that Neve Campbell had a particular type of stardom before Scream. You know what I mean? And then with that film, and then like just the way that her career has gone, to be honest, Neve Campbell's career is a little bit more similar to Jenna than really what it is Melissa. I think that the pros and cons of this situation is that, for me personally, is I really had to grow to love the way that Melissa decided to create this character. I wasn't in love with her initially. I think that Scream 6 definitely did a better job at sort of like giving more character to her and more dimension. So I don't think it would be that difficult, honestly, for another actress to tap into where she left off. It's unfortunate because people love familiarity. People love seeing, you know, what they know, and you gain a relationship with these people. You feel like you know them, and you're very protective of them. So it almost even wouldn't have the same effect, say, if this character were to die in this next movie, because we wouldn't care the same way. So you almost kind of like, damn if you do, damn if you don't, if you do decide to go on with this movie, because you want to see your character go through different challenges and get through those. But will it have the same impact with a different actress playing this character, knowing what she's been through? We don't really get to ever really see this person who's, you know, nurtured this character ever go through those challenges to begin, because, you know, replacing it's gonna feel, we're gonna feel a little jaded.
Yeah. And I really want to come back to what Cam said, because if Tamon knows, I go hard for Sam and Scream 6. And I always tell people that Scream 6 had no room for Sidney Prescott in it. That was Sam and that was Sam and Tara's movie. That was the Carpenter Sisters movie. It was the Final Four. It was the Core Force movie. That's the reason why I'm upset. It's because they did something that was so monumental, unbelievable to do. You transferred this very much beloved franchise and you turned it and gave it a new avenue to explore. Most franchises can't do that. Look at Halloween.
And that's why you couldn't kill Mindy and Chad in Scream 6, because you had to establish that.
Yeah,
you had to establish that.
Yeah,
this is why, because I was not.
It was literally passing the baton. Like when Sam says, you know, when she asked Sydney, "Am I going to be okay?" That was literally the passing of the baton.
Yeah. Thank you, Langston. You know what I mean? Thank you.
So, and you know, people are bringing up this situation with the Stranger Things thing. I think the difference with that is that they're either near finished or almost done.
Right. They're finished.
And I don't think that situations like this, where you have such an ensemble group of people who, as you can see with these characters, especially speaking of the ones who are growing their career, we've seen them like do little jobs here and there. This is going to be a big part of this next movie. Is going to really be another part of them growing to be stars.
Yeah.
So to sort of like almost kind of feel like you're starting from the ground up again, because you have a main character who everyone has all these different theories about what's going to happen with this character. And we already kind of concluded one theory, since, you know, she kind of threw the mask down at the end of the last movie, that she's not going to be this all, you know, wicked character, that, you know, we want to see her grow to be the hero.
Cam said it's not just about Melissa, though, because if they do recast, they literally have to try and find that connection with the co-stars. You know what?
Yeah.
The core four is great, honestly, but Tara, Mindy, and Chad are also great. So you I think they can still have chemistry. You could put her with Danny and recast her with a new actress, her and Danny, and they have.
But see, the problem is you either put Sam's character in or you don't.
That's the thing. You have to.
But the problem with not though is that the character, unfortunately, has already built this very much personality trait of being very protective of her sister, and she's been gone for 5 years. So for her all of a sudden to be missing from this next movie would almost be like a not justice to the character.
Well, it's just the way the movie was built. Scream 6 ended. Excuse me, because I'm a little upset. Scream 6 established this new generation of Scream characters that people fell in love with. Now, going in when Neve Campbell wasn't coming back, I was like, how are they going to do this? But at the same time, I was like, Scream technically, like you said, Langston, Neve passed that shit on to Sam. Sydney passed that shit on to Sam.
Right.
I just came here to find out what the fuck is going on. Since all this shit is connected to you, screw you guys, I'm going home. You know what I'm saying? This is all on you, baby girl. I ain't gotta sit there. This is your little shit you gotta deal with now. I'm done.
Yeah.
And you know, she was like, that's why she was just a phone call. Like Gail said, Sydney said she's fine, blah, 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 whatever. That was it. That's all we needed. Because that's the goal they went for, and they hit it. I don't think they can do that again going into Scream 7. That's just my personal
okay,
thing.
so what about this idea? What if she's in an institution?
See, that's going into Halloween Resurrection territory, and we don't want to do that.
Is that?
I feel like it's starting to get far-fetched. And let me tell you this guy, Scream has done a seamless job.
How is she being in an institution far-fetched?
Because it's starting to get like all these ideas are kind of being thrown out there. And I feel like Scream has done a very seamless job of movie to movie. Everything just feels like life. And you just happen to have this dash of something that's fantastical. But like once you start doing all the mess, it's just gonna start to feel like a soap opera.
Well, this is the cards we have to play with, so we have to figure out a way to pivot.
The millennials
we can say that this is awful. It's reality, so we are having to pivot. So
I don't like the mental institution idea. I don't. I'll be honest.
The Millennial Bear makes a good point right here. Scream has been the most cast consistency in horror franchise history. To now have recast and stuff would be weird. And not only that, but it's just, we all say the Scream is horror soap opera. You know what I'm saying? And some people might do it, but some people might be like, oh, but that's a good, soap operas did recasts all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Scream makes fun of shit like that. So it'll be kind of weird for some new girl to pop up and you're like, who is this bitch?
Right.
Because that happened with
self-referential at that point. So
right. But it's like it's gonna get so comical to the point of be just like,
is there a curse? Is there like a poltergeist curse on the third movie? Because we had this issue the last third movie.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Listen, I'm just like, but the thing is now, they really gonna have to show us how they're gonna get there, because we all know, as much as I'm sitting here screaming cancel the movie, this movie is still gonna get made.
Yeah.
My personal opinion is that they probably should have because let me just wind it back a little bit. I don't think we didn't even know she had said these things until the studio brought this out. Right. So I can see if it was an upcry to be like, oh, Melissa, you done did this, and that. I hadn't heard nothing about her being dragged on social media. I hadn't heard nothing.
I've seen the opposite.
Right. And so I'm like, so why would y'all sit there and shoot yourselves in the foot now?
Yeah.
And some people I say, well, just get ahead of the fire before it gets going. But it's just the fact that there was no fire.
This is an HR issue, though. This is kind of like an HR thing. You know what I mean? It would almost
that's what it was.
Like
it was definitely
all your coworkers on your side at work, but HR has a job to do. And when you do something HR that's not affiliated with that paperwork, it's almost like it's beyond everyone else. You know what I mean? So in a sense, we as the fans represent the consumer, and the coworkers are the actors. You know what I mean? It's like, and actors and producers and all those people that may be on her side, for instance, maybe, right? So I think, you know what I mean? For me personally, with this being a new company that's been associated with these movies, even if they are a third movie in, the only thing for me personally that could save a Scream 7 is to bring Kevin back.
He's one of the producers.
I almost need him to come in and write. Because that's what we're gonna see.
Listen,
that's the first thing I thought of today. Just go ahead and bring him back in. Bring
him back in to write, because he's the only person who can. Plus, because I don't even think Radio Silence was even going to write the third. Correct me if I'm wrong.
They already did. Yeah,
and
they
already
wrote the script. Okay,
they wrote it already.
They wrote it already. So now they got to sit there and do another rewrite.
The biggest way to soften this blow,
it's not a rewrite. It's a whole new thing.
Bring that back as a cast member and a producer. Bring Nev back as a cast member and producer, and bring Kevin back as a writer.
Yeah, because this is they're gonna have to do something that's going to appease the fans, because even though we joke on here, Tamon was like, he felt that Melissa was flat at Scream 5. He said this. She
was.
But then when she came back in Scream 6, and it was kind of like Radio Silence. She redeemed herself. And so it's just like, I don't know. I'm no matter what anybody says, because I've had people tell me that she should suffer for her actions and whatnot. And because if we were in her shoes in our respective jobs, if we said something like that and somebody on social media caught it, we would get canned too.
Yeah.
I understand that. I get it. I understand it. It's just fact that if it got caught, like let's say for instance, Langston, me and you and Tamon working at the office, and I said something you didn't like. and then you go and you report to HR. Now I'm sitting here thinking of y'all my boys and stuff like that, but it bothered you to the point where you just felt like, I feel like because blah blah blah.
Right.
I get that. It just seems to me that, like you said earlier with the HR situation, it was just like somebody probably watched it, because I don't even know when this was stated. I don't even know when these comments were. I don't even know which comment. Well, I kind of got an idea because me and Tamon talked about this when we went live. What comment was the nail? Was the
Yeah. Well, you know what? For me, in my little bit of research that I've done, I think what made it so interesting was that
there we go.
She kind of came from an instance of people who just want to understand. She kind of said, I don't really know what I believe right now, but I feel like the media's been feeding us one thing, and I need to kind of do my proper research and figure out where I stand. Those were the initial comments that I saw.
I thought if somebody said, see, the friend that told me this said that she said Jewish.
I haven't seen that part yet.
I haven't seen it either, Langston. So I'm just like, this is different. In this context, this is different because maybe in the context of what she was saying was that her algorithm on Instagram was only showing the Israel side of the one side. So her typing this out like this is just her way of showing that I'm not trying to give them any traction. This is just me trying to be, educated and not give the algorithm any type of, This is what I'm saying right here. Now, somebody can sit there and tell me I'm just overanalyzing it, or I'm just trying, but I just think that's what it is, because I initially was told that she said the word Jewish with the $ and the S, and that was what got her out of there.
I've heard that too.
Nobody has sent that to me yet, though. I've only got that screenshot, and that's not Jewish, that's Israel. And you can easily, if you look at all her previous posts, she was saying that she could not find anything about what was going on in Palestine, from their point of view.
Exactly.
I noticed certain news channels have went from calling it the Israel-Hamas war to calling it the Israel-Hamas conflict. You know what I'm saying? Because of all the backlash that people are getting about the coverage of the war and of the situation in the Middle East. So, I mean, and it's kind of like a knee-jerk reaction to something, because Susan Sarandon also was let go from her agency today because of some stuff she said at a pro-Palestine rally. But and so some people say, so why shouldn't they do this and why should they do that? But at the end of the day, I feel like Spyglass's response to this was, to me, more problematic. I'm not gonna say more problematic, but just as problematic as what
it was just so quick.
It was quick, but they
should have been quick.
It's quick, but at the same time, it's like you're taking what the Palestinian Americans and what Palestinians are saying is going on over there and calling it false. It's kind of like you're subscribing to that narrative that of the oppression that Palestinians people are getting. You know what I'm saying?
No,
because it's like, let me pull it up right quick, because it's just the way they said it that let me see. I'm trying to get it up right quick. Somebody vamp for me right quick.
Tamon, what's on your mind? Because you got
I'm reading the comments.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, dang, it was right here in my damn pictures. I'm sorry, y'all. So it pretty much, it says this is where's their statement. We have zero tolerance for anti-Semitism or the incitement of hate in any form. That's okay, because that's a blanket statement right there that everybody puts out when somebody says something left field.
Right.
But this is where it goes left for me, including false references to genocide, ethnic cleansing, Holocaust distortion, anything that flagrantly crosses the line into hate speech. They just erased everything that the Palestinians have been saying is going on. It's like, we're telling you what's going on, and you're saying it's not happening. It's kind of like a blanket form of gaslighting. And in that comment to me, in that comment to me, in that statement rather to me, you chose a side in this dispute.
Yeah.
Because you're saying that, okay, I feel like they should have just stopped at we have zero tolerance for anti-Semitism or the incitement of hate in any form, period. And that's where they should have stopped it at.
Right.
Because all this extra stuff right here,
including false references to genocide, that false reference to genocide is interesting.
Exactly. Because it's like, so you're saying that this is not, that you're saying that this is not happening over there. Like you have a correspondent over there that's telling you, oh, there's no genocide going on over here. There's no ethnic cleansing. Knowing that, because I'm gonna be just dead honest. Most people don't know what the fuck is going on over there. This is all kind of fresh to everybody.
That's the key part for me.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know what was going on over there. I just knew that somebody was attacked, a lot of people was killed, people was kidnapped, blah blah blah. But then you go back and do research, and I'm not gonna say I don't know all my shit right now. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna put myself on blast like that. But if you go back, you listen to people, they say this is not new. This is just the latest thing. You know what I'm saying? Like this is just the recent back and forth. And the Palestinians have been subjected to long-standing oppression from the Israelites or something like that. That's what I've been hearing from other people. Even people like Black Lives Matter, the different factions of that, and then other Punk Black also made statements about this. They were just, so it's like you get to a point of who do you believe, but at the same time, this statement right here just shows that they chose a side. That's to me.
I don't know if I would go as far as to say that they chose sides. I think it is very passive aggressive, and I think it is gaslighting as well. I think it's both all of those things. However, I think to protect their company, that was the statement they had to release, because they can bend those things to make sense for whatever they want for her to do.
Yeah,
you have to be in black and white. It could just be this falls under this category. That's how
he said resurrect Wes.
I'm sick of Jared. He had me screaming about it. I had to choke my scream back there.
Well, listen. Hey, that's why I said Kevin, because Kevin, we were blessed with Wes as a director, but at the end of the day, Kevin wrote it.
Yeah. Thank you, Langston. I keep telling people that as much as I love Wes Craven, and I sit there and I lay at his feet, but when it comes, I keep telling people, y'all act like Scream died when Wes Craven went into the grave. No,
the father of these characters that we love is Kevin Williamson.
It's Kevin Williamson. I followed Kevin Williamson when Scream came out. We talked about this. I followed Kevin Williamson. I bought everything that motherfucker put out. I was there. Dawson's Creek. Yeah. Teaches Mrs. Tingle.
He's the reason. He's one of the reasons why I became a writer. Him and Neil. Is it Neil Mortiz? All those guys from the 90s that were a part of the producing and the writing. I really studied those guys, and it's a shame to see something that Kevin built, be turned into something that's way far from. You know what I mean? We come to watch Scream to escape. Yes. And now y'all are putting us in something that's not allowing us to do that.
You're tainting the whole thing.
You're tainting the whole thing.
And no matter how you cut it, it's gonna burn either way you do. You thought Sydney
not being a franchise.
Yeah, you thought Sydney being not in Scream 6 because of pay disputes hurt the franchise. Yeah. This is gonna hurt the franchise. Because it's gonna be another movie and they're gonna have to address it.
Yeah.
You can't do Scream without women.
No, of course not.
Right. And in a sense, in a very ironic way, these films celebrate women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a very weird way, right? So to kind of start it off with, the whole situation that happened with Nev, and then for this next movie to have another key situation that deals with another woman. It's kind of like, y'all, what is going on?
I told you, Langston, I told y'all, it seems to me that they don't know how to cherish or respect their leading women. Yeah. It just seems like that. I'm glad that Courtney Cox got in there, said, I'm gonna get paid this goddamn executive producer credit. I mean, shit. I'm finna get my damn coin somehow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and so
The
I was
whole
glad to see her
movie,
name up there.
honestly just feels like it's just not meant to be. How many? There's what, 2 or 3 years in between Scream 2 and Scream 3. For one, we need a break, and we
maybe
all
that's
are on
what
this.
needs to happen for sure.
We're
That's
on
what
this
needs to
high
happen
because we're in a new era where we get everything fast. So we're kind of just going with it because we're excited. But realistically, with the way that Scream has always been treated, we need a break to actually feel what happened in the last movie. And now it's like a whole nother event's about to happen. They're probably not even going to time jump.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So we're not even going to feel like, damn, you know, between 2 and 3, you feel an accomplishment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of like, but between having to possibly recast this character and just how fast they're moving with this franchise, or we're Fast and the Furious or something like that, it's kind of like you're taking away from the personality of these movies.
Right. I concur, because I feel that I feel like a break was needed rather than letting go of Melissa, because here's some other stuff. Now, if somebody in critical, if you can tell me if you heard anything about this or not, I was told before Thanksgiving dropped last weekend that Eli Roth actually sat there and called Palestinians dogs. He referred to them as dogs. Now, I haven't seen this comment. I haven't seen any reference to this comment. But I know a lot of people was up in arms about it, saying like, we're not going to go see Thanksgiving. But you would not know that because nobody said anything about it. I haven't mentioned it to nobody else because I'm like, I haven't heard this and nobody has gave me any sources, so I'm not going to say anything about it. So I was like, how? I don't know. I don't know. That's just something I just know that nobody has said anything about because nobody was looking for this. So I was just like, where did this come from out the blue? It just was so left field. You know,
I just wish they could have came with some type of mutual thing, even if it was, you can't head this franchise anymore, but we can work out to migrate you off, and you can be the opening kill. We will already know the politics behind it, but at least you can get your farewell or whatever they're going to do with you in the beginning or the end of this movie, whatever you're going to do.
Right.
They could have just gave her a really reduced role.
Because I'm sure this whole script now has to be reworked. The whole thing has to be reworked because there's, you know, it has to be. It has to be, because if anyone is giving themselves the responsibility of being a part of the story of this movie, you know that Scream has a very much of a reputation of following a story arc. So to do a 7 that really doesn't have anything to do with 5 and 6, it just wouldn't. It would almost be like you're starting over. It would almost like you're starting over again. You know,
Langston, this would be the equivalent to, I'm just gonna put it out there, this would be like Halloween reboot. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we got Halloween H2O, then we get Halloween Resurrection, and then we just need to just reboot it all over again. Ignore the period of sequels and just start anew. We're gonna refer back to this movie, and then everything that came in between it is. Don't do that to this, but because again, this series makes fun of shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It critiques stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, don't become the joke or the satire. I mean, it's considered a satire, but don't become the satire that you're the thing that you're
on purpose. You know? On purpose.
On purpose. You know? See, I knew critical. I knew it. I knew somebody else had heard this, but I haven't seen anything personally about this. And another thing I want to bring up, the director, who was Christopher Landon.
Michael Landon.
It's Christopher.
He's from American Horror Story.
But he posted on, he made a reaction, because I'm pretty sure that what you call it, the gays. I'm working on a post right now about the horror gays, because they are letting Spyglass and Paramount have it on Twitter right now, and my Instagram is getting fired up right now too.
It's the names we don't know.
Exactly.
Those are the people with the power.
Yeah. You know? He said this. This is from Deadline. Scream 7 filmmaker Christopher Landon responded to the news of Melissa Barrera's firing by Spyglass over her social media postings over the Israel-Hamas conflict. They're calling it a conflict now. He said, "This is my statement. Broken heart. Everything sucks. Stop yelling. This was not my decision to make," he wrote on Twitter. Then it got on here. Tweet is no longer available, which means Spyglass probably said they told him you might want to take that down or you're gonna be next. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying
everybody can get it.
Well,
everybody
Critical
can get
Critical just made another key point that I was thinking about earlier is that this could follow Neb not being a part of it anymore. This could follow Jenna Ortega only had a month anyway.
Yeah.
She only had a month anyway. So what's probably going to happen if and I hate to say this, but minorities rallying together to make sure that something is fair, often we don't get the treatment that we deserve. You've seen it happen with the cast, Friends, like they rallied together and got more money. Us rallying together for Melissa, I don't really know what that would do. I hope it would do something, because you would almost have to rebuild something that you've built to not even hear out what everyone almost would have to rally together to agree on. But I'm not sure if the other cast members feel afraid or are not willing to speak out or what the case may be. But that to me is the only solution I can see in, possibly getting Melissa back, or it just seems like it's there's no mending fences at this point. It's very early right now too, but I see this as a domino effect.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be very messy. It's gonna be very very messy. And that was another thing I wanted to bring up, y'all, is because I'm like that y'all just got back. Everything, TV, movies, stage, all this stuff is getting pushed back, and y'all are now just getting back in the swing of things.
Yeah,
and y'all want a quick turnaround to shoot. You just sat there and set y'all back another couple of months, because there's gonna have to be a rewrite. There's gonna have to be or
a rewrite to
casting. The script or some tweaking at least.
It's not a rewrite. It's a start over.
Because let me just say this.
Oh yeah, you start off from scratch. I'm saying that's what I'm saying. You're gonna have to start off from scratch.
Everybody can't be Kevin Williamson writing on the set.
Exactly. And
I
felt that we can't. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Me being naive, Tamon and everybody here can probably tell, but you can't. I was like thinking that was like things of the past. Like they've become more professional. But they also always rewrites on the set. There's always gonna be a rewrite on the set.
That's crazy to me. That was. But you know what kind of brain you have to have to be able to pull something like that off?
Yes. Yeah. That's why I love Kevin Williamson. That's why I fuck with him, because they when the Scream 2 script got out at the pre-days, this is before all the shit we get now. This is in the early days.
And he had that
he sat there, came up with something, because what, there like 3 different types of endings, and then when the Scream 3 came out, I think they said they only got like the first half of the script, and a certain group of people only got the last, few script the pages, because they were trying to stop leaks.
I think it was his Bible.
Changed, huh?
His Bible. That's what they was working off of.
Yeah, but it's just like the whole thing of Kevin Williamson came in with a straight plan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From point A to point B, or from point A to point Z for the original trilogy, and without the shit that happened with Kevin, he was too busy on Dawson's Creek and trying to do his own movie and stuff like that. It's understandable he wasn't available. Neve Campbell was like, I don't want to be a Scream queen, and she kind of like had a role reduced in Scream 3, but they still made it work to the point where it made sense. Of course, she would go into hiding. You know what I'm saying? And they just hit all the, Melissa, Jesus Christ, Courtney and David. And y'all need to give her props. Parker carried that damn movie until them came in the third act, really. So it's just like, they carried that movie. And a lot of people shit on Scream 3, though. But I feel like me and Tamon are working on something about why it needs to be respected.
Yeah, well, you know how I feel about Scream 3. Like, I don't feel like it's as chaotic as when I seen it explained to me. That's when Scream 3 just seems chaotic. Because I've watched about 2 or 3, and I was just talking to Tamon about this. I've seen about 2 or 3 documentaries about what was really happening. That's when it felt chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, golly, that's what y'all was going through? But actually seeing it, to me, the only thing that feels maybe a little bit just left field is the comedy.
Yeah, the comedy was more
a rom-com.
But you know what? It's so ironic that we see what we're going through now, and you see that Gail and Dewey were pretty much the leads of Scream 3.
Yeah.
And it almost kind of makes me wonder. I'm not saying that Chad and Mindy are Gail and Dewey, but in a similar sense, it makes me kind of wonder what would a Scream 7 be like with Mindy and maybe Chad and Tara being more the leads.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. We're gonna go to commercial, and that's next. We're gonna go to commercial. When we come back, we have to talk about what would we do with this franchise next. Like, that's a great idea. How do we pivot?
Yeah.
We come back from commercial. Have your ideas in the comments. Push past. You don't want to do it. We have to do it. They hired us. Spyglass sent you a check and say, "Hey, come work with us on Scream 7."
Exactly.
When you come back, we need your ideas.
Right.
And we're back. Killer Card Game. Check them out on Instagram. It's a really cool game. I never have the cards next to me when I need them. It's a really fun game. If you like murder mystery, you like Clue, you like slashing, you'll love the game.
Okay, I'm going to check that out. I'm excited.
Yeah. We should play. Since you're here, we should play.
Y'all played this before?
No. We can't play right now. But
okay.
Yeah, but we need like 4 people.
Mark, you're here too, right?
No, Mark's in Tennessee.
Oh, you mean I didn't know y'all both in the Blaze, I didn't know you was in Atlanta. I'm sorry. I thought
you were in Atlanta.
No, I'll be in trouble right now if I was in Atlanta. Ooh, let's just say let me leave it there.
Smells like Jeepers Creepers thugs.
Ooh.
I don't know if I want to make that comparison.
Ooh.
Yikes.
Very
okay,
yikes.
Fellas. We are in the creative room. They've hired the 3 of us and our friends in the audience to pitch ideas past our personal bias about what we should do with Scream 7. And I'm going to throw it to Blaze to start off with his pitch.
I want to see, since nostalgia is such a big theme right now in just pop culture, I would love to see Mindy become a horror movie director. And them to do some sort of story that kind of maybe involve maybe the events that happened in whatever universe they're creating with their Stab franchise, and her being involved with that. Maybe something with that could be an interesting storyline. I would probably have what's her name? What's our girl's name? The cop, the FBI agent.
Kirby.
Oh, Kirby.
I would have Kirby probably be the opening kill. In that world, in that universe, because if you guys notice in like the third, which this would be like 7, so it would be like the third movie, the opening kill in the third part of the Scream universe has always been a main character. You know what I mean? I think the opening kill for this new movie needs to be a main character, just like they did Cotton.
Yeah, it makes sense because you have Kirby, who appeared in Scream 4.
Right.
And then in Scream 5, she was mentioned, it was a blink you miss it thing, but it was kind of the same thing with Cotton Weary in Scream 1. He was on the news, Liev Schreiber was in the news. They could have easily recast somebody.
And Mark, for that little dash of comedy, I would love for them to recreate the scene with Jill and Kirby in Jill's bedroom. And maybe Kirby's watching it, and then something happens. That would be almost kind of be like doing, because no one has really done anything to commend Scream 4, and I think that would be kind of a cool little thing for Kirby to be watching. What number would Scream 4 be in the Stab universe? Like 9?
I think
for her
it would
to be watching herself in the movie, and maybe she turns it off when she hears something. Or something like that, for her to be the opening kid. I think that would be really, really cool.
Yeah, because number 8, I like his, because like what Cam said, it matches with what Langston just said. Since they low key following the formula of the original trilogy, might as well match third for third, but execute it differently. Because the first movie, I mean, the Scream 5 took it back to Woodsboro,
right?
Or rather, kept it in Woodsboro,
right?
Then Scream 6 took him to college.
At college,
right. Let's take this shit back to Hollywood because I like the idea of
but let's do it. Let's do it better.
Yeah, that's what he was saying, but executed differently. But
are we talking about maybe a true crime show where they have?
No, I want to see. I want to almost see it like I don't know if I mean a true crime show. I would want it to be like a stab movie.
You know how Roanoke was. You know how Roanoke was on American Horror Story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It would be cool if they did something like that because you can have again the cast members of the true crime doc,
right?
Who are recreating these characters get knocked off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then they could easily sit. That would have been a great idea if they had out a fire, Melissa. But we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it because I thought that's what they're gonna do with Tara. But she was going to have like a Sidney Prescott Scream 3 type thing where she was going to be away from all the action and then come in for the third act, like that month you said she had to film was going to be all the third act. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they might need to do that with they might have to end up still doing that with her and then say Sam. But the thing about Sam being in an institution, it seems like dead off screen seems very direct to video to me when for example, House on Haunted Hill, the sequel, Return to the House on Haunted Hill. In the original movie, it was only two survivors, Sarah and Tay Diggs.
Right.
In the sequel, it was her sister, and she said, "Oh, my Sarah killed herself."
I never saw it.
Well, it was a sister who went back to the house with some other people because she said Sarah was trying to tell me something, but she killed herself. And I'm like. Such a great character to sit there and just throw her away like that.
Yeah.
So it was
like you can't kill her. You can't say she's living her best life like Sydney because she whatever. You can't say that. So we have to figure out something. How do we move forward?
But maybe we do poltergeist it and say she's off to college. Remember when the sister unfortunately when she died in real life, they sent her off to college.
She might could be somewhere else. She might go into a what you call it? Shit.
Because hey guys, it's not far-fetched because what was Tara saying? She said, "Let me go," right?
Yeah.
So it almost would be paying homage to that idea of her finally letting her go. She's like, "What are you doing here? You're working a shitty job. Where's your life?" Maybe she was finally trying to get her life together.
I think that she should be going. I think that because the thing is, a lot of people are gunning for really Sam. They're not really gunning for Tara. They're gunning for Sam. But Tara is adjacent to what. But I'm just saying, Tara is that last link of a. Me and Tamon said this in our previous show.
I'm just gonna say it. Helen Shivers died, so Tara could walk.
Exactly.
Because in a sense, because for me, Jenna Ortega has always been the I've always been Team Tara as far as she is who I look at. I don't hate Sam. It's just that they almost kind of in a lot of movies where the supporting character always is always the person that the fan does the most fan service. And for me, I just feel like the Tara character is just more interesting.
It is. She's more dynamic.
Yeah.
And honestly, she's more of a Sydney than Sam is.
She is.
And that's okay. That's not saying that because that's not what she was supposed to be. She's supposed to be different from Sydney.
Yeah.
But you gave us Sydney and we automatically flocked to it.
To her because she's the only person
survived her opening. She would have survived in that hospital. I can see Sydney going through all those moments.
She's the final girl.
Neve Campbell she's in that Jamie kind of space where not a lot of women that are leads in horror movies have this impact.
No.
They don't. No. So it really if Jenna Ortega was Sam's character, I honestly think that this would be a harder blow. Jenna did what Melissa did.
Yeah.
I think I'm be honest with y'all. Jenna's execution of just characters overall, I'm obsessed with.
Right.
I'm not obsessed with Melissa's performances. I'm obsessed with the sisterhood that they built for this franchise.
Right.
But
that's the thing.
Tara really could hold this story by herself.
That brings us to what we're talking about. I love the idea that she said, let her go. Let's focus the story. And if we're going to stick with this whole Scream 3 thing, we can do that. Or we can say Danny and Sam are literally somewhere else.
They should be. They should be. The reason why I say that, because I was going to say, I was trying to get the word about mine. I kept getting stuck on it, but witness protection. Put Sam and Danny in witness protection and let Mindy be in Hollywood directing her movies and stuff like that. Chad is with Tara, because we saw them, and they could be. Everybody's separated. You know,
they're all in LA.
They're all in LA, but separated. I just feel like Melissa, Jesus Christ, Sam should be in witness protection because there's still people gunning for her. They blame her for what happened with Richie, and not only that, they blame her for fucking up Richie's plan of creating more stale films.
Yeah,
because this is a cult. This is a cult or a cabal of people, or a swagger of what would they call it? A gaggle of A's from the Pretty Little Liars or some shit like that.
Yes.
You know, one A falls, another one is another one's activated. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna. So Sam probably has it, because the thing about Sam and Tara is like they're always, because they have all this history with Sidney Prescott before them. They're like 10 steps ahead. They know, well, except for Sam, Tara, she kind of like was determined not to become a Sidney Prescott. You know, she was like, I'm gonna live my life. That just happened back there. I'm not. Sam was always on it. Like, yo, let's go. I got all this. I got the tickets and everything. Let's go. So, but I feel like in Scream 6, we got to realize that, you know, okay, Richie came for you because you were the daughter of Billy Loomis. So now you're it. You know, like tag, you're it. Then you get again mirroring Scream 2. I mean, you get Richie's family come, not just as a parent. You have a family, an entire family come for your head. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So unless Richie's mother is going to be the third killer in some capacity, or I hope they don't do that, because that's
scratched. If that was the case, that's scratched.
Well, guys, it's so funny to me that everyone's been saying that, because since the beginning of, you know, Sam revealing what this whole backstory was, I never thought about the mother. I've always thought about it being the father, because he has the motive. He's the one with the main motive. He found out that one of his kids is not his. You know what I'm saying? That to me, I'm not saying that that's ground. I mean, if you're gonna have a motive, that to me makes the most sense.
He was gonna have to show up in that in the next one too.
Yeah,
right.
But now that we don't have Sam, it's gonna be a little bit hard to accomplish that story, because I don't see why the dad would come after Tara.
Maybe he's not. Maybe he's coming to check in on Tara.
He could probably come. He could become probably
maybe they're living with him in LA,
or he could be coming to check in on Tara. Excuse me, and he's using Tara as a means to try to figure out where the fuck Sam is in his
exactly.
Or what if Ghostface is actually got Sam, and maybe that can be the way that we don't have to see her. If the goal is to get her back, I don't know. Now, I thought that was different, because Ghostface has never kidnapped anyone before, and maybe use that as a way to maybe get other people. But maybe because even that, if say for instance it ended with them getting Sam back, then we maybe the blow won't be as hard, because then we didn't have to hear from her the whole damn movie.
I feel like they should go the route.
Works.
Yeah, they should.
Especially
it should go the route.
Introducing the FBI element already, it works.
Right. Yeah, because you get Kirby, who could probably be like, okay, I know where Sam is, and this, and that. Because just kind of like how Dewey knew where Sydney was, but he never told anybody where he played dumb, like he didn't know where she was, but he knew the entire time where Sydney was. He just didn't want to pull her out, you know, because put her in danger. And Kirby could be the same way. It's just. This is why I feel
Kirby should be the opening, because she's like the Cotton Weary. and she's at the FBI, so she knows where Sam is.
Kirby,
where is that bitch? Bring Sam out, and you'll be
bring Sam out, right? And this is why I felt like they should not have fired her per se, just scaled back her role significantly.
That's all they had to do.
Just scale it back. You're not gonna be we're gonna have you in like a total of 5 scenes. That's it. And them 5 scenes are gonna consist of all of 15 minutes, probably. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
you're not gonna get top billing.
But that's all that Neve Campbell was in Scream 3.
Exactly. She had a great chase. Well, she had 2 chase scenes, but she had a great chase scene when she first came out of hiding.
Yeah,
you know,
but
at the studio.
But they put the scenes in so strategically, you don't even realize that she's only in it for like 20 minutes.
Exactly.
This is my Neve Campbell in Scream 3.
Yeah.
That's what, like Mark was saying. That's what I imagine Jenna Ortega will be doing.
That's what I thought she was gonna be doing before this shit happened.
Now they're gonna have to change it.
So I mean,
unless
I can definitely see Sam being in protective custody. We just have to figure out a way for that. Why wouldn't she be released?
But so what do y'all feel about the whole Christmas thing? Because they were saying that was supposed to be. Is that dead?
I'm sure it is.
I'm pretty sure it's dead too. No, I'm pretty sure it's dead now because it's like Christmas is all about family.
Right.
And now that you're just pretty much took out the matriarch of the core 4 family, it's like okay.
And you
character progression.
And then look, we ain't even really talking about that.
You can play off of that. You can play off of that with character progression.
But we didn't even really talk about that.
How you deal with the absence of Sam.
But y'all didn't build this whole franchise off of the core 4. Now, you know what I'm saying? And that's another thing I didn't even think about. Like, core 4 has been like, it's kind of almost like how they ended the movie. So it's like now you're bringing it back with the possibility of it being 3, main characters.
And they have to deal with that. I think that'll be something good for them to work through.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you put it like that, I'm sorry, I gotta bring this into equation. This is 2 different franchises though, but the way they handled T'Chaka's death in Wakanda Forever was very powerful. Because you're like, how you gonna sit there? He had all this stuff ahead of him and stuff like this. He just became king of Wakanda. We were very invested, but they made it work, and they made it work to the point where it was like, this is the only plausible way they could have went with this narrative, given what had happened in real life.
Yeah. Well, see, it's different because you are honoring someone's life. This person is alive.
Yeah, but go ahead.
It'll be hard for me to accept that Tara got a phone call and Sam is dead.
Yeah,
it's gonna be hard for you to like spirit.
Only way I can accept it is if she's dead already, and maybe I don't know.
But see, again, but I'm gonna talk out the other side of my mouth. But see, again, it would feel like it's a direct to video type situation where it's just like because you're gonna want to know what the fuck happened, how it happened, and how badly it happened. You know what I'm saying? This is Scream.
It's about to give Insidious the red door.
I don't remember, to be honest with you. I don't think there's been a Scream character that was killed off screen. Except for that boyfriend.
Maureen.
But that was because that shit happened prior. That was like
right.
I'm talking about but the only person I could think of was that boyfriend of what's her name in the last Scream 6. That's the only motherfucker I know was killed off screen. To my point.
We never really saw him though.
Right. He was always in there and running stuff like that and saying babe this and babe that.
Guys, I hate to say it, but we are literally running into that part of the Scream world where it's about to get messy.
Yeah.
And no one wants to say it, but it's true. Y'all have created for the most part, I would say in the horror world, Scream has been the most consistent movie to movie. Even if you want to include not liking the third one, it's still a part of the story that completed the other 2.
Or the 4th one.
Now we about to get into the stab universe of Scream 4, where she was just like, girl, they just started doing anything.
But it may be another option. So how would you guys feel if we had a legacy sequel where the legacy characters was in the forefront? So they call them the legacy core 4, which is Mark Kincaid, Sidney Prescott, Gail, and Kirby. So how would you feel if the focus was shifted from their lens and then sprinkling out the other ones?
Sidney Prescott. I'm gonna go. Sidney Prescott fan to me is like, of course, I would love to see us, a rehash, not rehash, but like a reunion of sorts of all the previous Scream survivors and stuff like that, and have them have their fun. But it has to be like a complete film. You know what I'm saying? Like, their story is done after this movie. Now we need to go back to what happened. Maybe they could broker a deal between Melissa and Skyglass later on down the line and be like, yo, we can bring you back. Water under the bridge. You learned your lesson. Now we can go ahead and move on and just complete.
I would sort of make like I would sort of make it like a spinoff almost, but it's still the seventh movie, but the focus completely. I would just sort of have it focus on Sydney and what's going on in her life because she hasn't been attacked yet. Dewey was attacked and killed. Gail was attacked and survived. Now it's your turn, Sydney, for the stories to be focused on you. So now they're attack her full on. Have a story invested in her life. Have a story invested in her kids. And why will Samantha run and come help Sydney? She doesn't need that. She needs y'all to stay safe. So that's the way to eliminate all of them. If you want,
I like the thought of all of this. It's just
if Sydney had a head.
Problem is another Sydney motive, another motive to kill Sydney Prescott. Like
absolutely.
I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to a motive to kill Sydney when I've already seen that. So
maybe it's not just Sydney. Maybe it's the legacy members themselves.
But what's the motive? What's the motive?
Maybe somebody
to kill anything that's attached or associated to stab.
Because the thing of the matter is that I do know there is a commentary. Like criticals get it back to a point that body Quinn was swapped for. We still know who that bitch was. The body that Quinn was swapped for in Scream 6. We still know who that bitch was.
That is one of the biggest plot holes of the Scream universe.
Plot hole.
He must have been the chief of police or somebody.
Y'all know what I put next to that though? Roman getting his ass out of that casket and running up and killing Angelina.
This shit was
Those
funny.
two are the biggest plot holes of the Scream universe.
But what was I saying? I was saying that, huh?
Earlier I mentioned Roanoke. Could you imagine for money and for maybe some of the fame that Mindy and Tara and Chad are in this reality situation with the actors who play them in the reenactment of their story?
I like that.
Say it again.
I like
Say it
that.
again.
I said, could you imagine a story where it's Tara, Mindy, and Chad in a reality show situation with the people who play them in the retelling of the story,
like Scream 3?
Yeah,
exactly like Scream 3.
That's what I was saying.
I like that idea.
So now we can slowly piece in characters who make sense for this.
Right.
I like that.
But the thing with the Sydney thing, though, I feel that the reason why somebody might want to kill her is that there's a lot of not sentiment. There's a lot of resentment of legacy characters and movies coming back and like selling the new shit, or they're coming back just for nostalgic factor. And it's just like you do have a group of people who are like, you do have fandom out there who's like, oh, fuck Sidney Prescott. Sam Carpenter's my girl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we can get rid of Sidney Prescott, we can eliminate that whole damn line of legacy survivors, and we just focus on our current survivors.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And somebody could be like, well, let's go try to kill Sidney Prescott and Mark. But the thing is, they got kids. They don't even have their kids are not even teenage age at the moment. Now, now if Sidney Prescott had making babies with Mark like as soon as
she just started working at Scream 4. In Scream 4, she just started back working. Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's just like if they.
So do we know for sure that Sydney didn't have kids in 4? Do we know that for sure?
She kept that very tight to the chest. She didn't tell nobody her goddamn business. Nobody knew what was going on.
If she had a kid with Mark somewhere between 2000 and 2011, she would have a 20-year-old.
Child, look at this. What she sat there did of Maureen Prescott and gave her child away because she felt that she gave her first kid away because she felt that the child would be safer out of the limelight, being that she's the daughter of Sidney Prescott or the child of Sidney Prescott, and people gonna be gunning for her or them rather, because I don't know what their gender or their
Well, I would actually kind of want to match it up like the Lori John story kind of feel of you're trying to protect me for something and you're not telling me the full story, or you sent me to boarding school. I don't see the Sydney character just disowning the kid, but I would see her like almost sending them to like a school that's far from her.
Unless it was a baby she was from Billy.
Or the baby could have been living with her dad.
It could have been Billy's baby. And she gave it up in 96, 97.
I thought, well,
so now for Sam, they were going to do
that. That was my idea for 5.
Yeah, so that could be a thing.
Oh my God, y'all, this is too much.
Now she's the new lead.
It is a lot to think about going back to the legacy characters. My thing that I loved about The Dark Knight, though, was them not explaining what his motive was. And I think that could be a very different story arc for Scream, because I know, the whole big completion is always the motive. But the big thing in that movie was some people just want to see the world burn. Yeah. And I feel like certain people, certain Ghostface characters, do we need the motive?
Yes, it's a murder mystery.
Can they just be crazy?
No.
I've actually mentioned this on here before, and I said it would be scary if they had like a rogue Ghostface that didn't have a motive. He just a serial killer, just decided to put on the Ghostface mask and start going.
I like that idea.
But the franchise itself and the fandom will be pissed.
You think so?
I wanted that too, Langston. I initially wanted that, but I was like, but what would happen if they don't have a motive? It's just like all these people are dead for no reason. And now, it's still scary. It's still scary. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. It's still scary, but we know how Scream fans are. But why? They always love to show up for the why.
Mm-hmm.
So,
or what if we had a Ghostface situation where they killed one of them and the other one just went to jail because he got caught? Like, like I would just like the idea of a movie where we're just getting straight slasher action, and maybe we do know or we don't know who's behind the mask, and they don't necessarily have to die at the end of the movie.
I don't think that concept works with characters that we care about. You don't want someone killing your character that you care about just because.
Well, no, not killing your characters, but like maybe just having the same Ghostface instead of having to kill them every freaking movie.
You were mentioning I forgot what you said.
It's just
I don't know.
I think it'll be really interesting to see how how they could pivot this. And so, like, if they were in the reality situation, who would we need? Would we need Kirby? Would we need Gail? Would we need Sydney? Would we need Kincaid? I think people really want to see Kincaid and Sydney.
Oh, absolutely!
They want to see them.
I want to.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's great.
I haven't seen Thanksgiving yet, but I'm pretty sure. I told people, Patrick Dempsey ain't doing nothing else. I mean, he just became. I mean that in no shady way, but it's just the fact that he's not on Grey's Anatomy now. Right. It's not like he has to keep that image of, But I'm like, you just did Thanksgiving. You can come back for Scream 7. You know what I'm saying?
He still looks good.
He looks amazing.
I definitely could see something that involved, but you got to give Sydney real like intention. Sydney's. I mean, we wouldn't have even got Sydney had she not lost Dewey for 5. It just made all of that made sense. You know what I mean? And I know that both of you guys know this for sure, that like Kevin's intention was always to give Sydney a happy ending.
Yeah,
I would just love to be able to actually see that. We've always seen Sydney end with trauma for the most part, except for 3. You know what I mean? But even a little bit of that was implied that something could happen. Literally, the door was open. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I would love to see a story where Sydney finally, we actually get to see her whoop ass and, her be happy at the end of one of these films instead of walking off campus like she did all depressed at the end.
Listen, Sydney tried her best. And she did her best.
Yeah, Sydney deserves a life. I don't want her to have the post trauma effect of Laurie Strode. Like, let's let Sydney last for her life.
It's over. It's over for that.
Right.
You know what? I really think that Jenna, if she's on board, I think she could save it.
She could save it.
And everyone's like, Mindy killed Mindy. She has no character development. Now she could
push this movie back because Jenna's gonna be in Romania for 5 months, and put this next movie out in the end of 25 or the beginning of 26. Because at this point y'all don't really care about the people I'm saying that are part of the production. Y'all not coming across like y'all care about the nurturing of this movie. Y'all just want this money. You know what I mean? And I feel like even with the parts of Scream 6 that we didn't like, it still felt like y'all cared about this franchise. So don't just do this.
Well, that's evident, right? It's very clear they love the franchise. They were careful with things. They were sloppy in Scream 6 for sure.
Yeah.
But from Scream 5, they really wanted to show that they cared about the movie, and they only planned technically to do one movie, and so they gave us another one in Scream 6. And so maybe you could say that the Carpenter sister storyline is done. She did drop the mask.
She did. It's true. I mean,
that could be the end. We could start with a whole new group of kids, and the core four now really becomes legacy members, and we start having a whole new story. We can go back to Woodsboro. We can go to LA. We can do whatever we want to do now. We can stay in New York.
Give it. I know y'all don't think this is probably realistic, but give it to Mindy. Let Mindy be the lead, and let Tara get a piece of it too. I can see that if they do it right. But you really got to make people almost give Mindy the story that Randy didn't get to have.
The problem with Mindy is like she is used for a trope purpose, but there's no thought about how else she can be utilized in anything. What made the characters of the original trilogy so important was how they were used. Gail discovered everything. She broke down the entire story. She told you, she put the story together. Her dynamic with Dewey, they're great on screen together. They were perfect. And Sydney is the great lead. In this one, they don't know how to shuffle, how to give people where they should be putting the focus. Tara should have been. Because
Mindy's biggest impact has been comedy.
It's been comedy, and that's it. Let her get in there and start solving problems, figuring stuff out. Make them the new trio.
What? I will give her this though, Tamon. I don't think that Mindy gets, or I don't know the real actress's name, which is another one. I don't think she gets enough credit for the requel explanation scene. I really enjoyed
the Scream 5.
Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing. I didn't like her in Scream 6, but Scream 5
I feel like I was learning something.
She was creating something.
I've never heard the term requel before, so to hear her explain it, it seemed like she was just freestyling. Like it didn't feel like these were lines, like she was saying it, and it made me like, wow, I digested it differently coming from her. I just think because this character has not been the lead, her main, personality trait in this movie has been, I've been stabbed and I've ran but my main thing is comedy. Yeah. And it's so funny because so was Randy, but Randy was just digested very differently.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
but it was because it was so in your face. I think they intentionally started not making Mindy a trope, but just giving her those monologues, but they didn't know how to follow through and where to put her next.
Well, the Scream 6 monologue felt forced.
The monologue?
Her explaining everything again.
Yeah.
It felt very forced.
Yeah. Think about how they did it in Scream 1 with Randy and telling everybody, and in Scream 2, him having a one-on-one conversation with Dewey about the rules of the sequel. If she would have sat down with Gail, with Kirby, or with anyone at the police station. Right.
Even the scene with her and Kirby felt forced.
Yeah, it did. It did.
It's because it's almost like, Kirby, you're an officer. This feels really feel as appropriate anymore.
I feel like they didn't know what to do with either one of those in that scene. Like they had time to feel, and it was like, well, this is the right scene for Kirby and Mindy since
it
they don't
didn't
get
feel
that much
natural.
time.
It didn't feel natural.
I think that they would quiz each other. I think that how that horror standoff, that idea of it was great, but maybe it was a chemistry thing.
Yeah, it could have been
a chemistry thing. It didn't work. It could have been Kirby's wig. Could have been a reason.
You will throw that in for any reason.
Yes, that's a reason that could be happening.
Oh my god!
So in y'all fantasy, right? Who is the actual lead of this movie?
Of Scream 7?
Because for me, it's Tara.
Gail.
It would be Tara because who else?
Gail.
For me, it's Tara.
It's Gail. It's Gail.
Boy,
I have the full story.
Boy, Courtney Cox was probably hurting after that epic scene she already had.
That lip was real, right? That lip was real. She was not acting.
I have, and again, I know we give that scene credit a lot, but for
as you should,
6 movies in, and man, and I'm ranking that scene with the big dog scenes. Like that scene was incredible. That scene was incredible. I mean, from the moment it started to the moment it was over.
Agreed.
You mean the Scream 6, her chase scene?
Yeah.
I need to go back and watch it again. It's just because I mean, talking about sitting at the edge of your seat.
Watch it.
Edge of your seat.
Let's just pull it up.
Wait, Mark, you like it or you don't like it?
No, I liked it. I said edge of my seat. You know what I'm saying? I was in the theater.
My heart was pounding.
Listen, I was in the theater and I said I could hear Tamon screaming all the way down in Atlanta.
My heart was pounding.
But I just hate that they didn't, because I was like, when they came in, she said, "Tell Sydney that I fought him. Tell Sydney that he didn't get me."
No.
I said, "You better." She went out. I said, "Oh goddamn no! Oh no!
How fucking dare you?" They did that. Oh man!
And as soon as that happened, and they said, "We have a pulse." I stood up and said, "You can't keep a bad bitch down. You can't keep a bad bitch down. You just can't."
What did y'all feel about that being her last scene in the movie?
I think that was terrible. I think it was absolutely terrible.
I feel like this should have been a scene in between where Mindy, when she got stabbed, went by her room, and then like they were sitting there talking about it. And then Mindy probably sat there and said, "Oh shit, I know who the killer is now," and she takes off because that makes the most sense. That would have given Gail a good.
Yeah.
That would have been that little bit would have made a little bit more sense for me. Because I don't think they thought about that
because it would explain like how superficial.
Kevin would have did that.
Oh yeah,
Kevin would have definitely. Yeah,
it would explain how superficial Wendy. It would explain how superficial Mindy's wound actually was, despite us looking at it like, "Oh my god, she is dead." Because when she got gutted in that damn train scene,
gutted.
I was like, no.
Because the problem is, hey Mark, they spent so much money on that damn train. They said, "Look, all we got left is to do this theater scene."
Because that was the promotional shit. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. The promotion, that train is that subway train is the promotional.
I said this the other night, Mark. You remember the train scene should have been handled just like how Maureen was in Scream 2 in the movie theater. She should have been sliced and diced going down this train, running in this chase scene.
But see, Tamon, look how fate works. Because had they did that, we would be in a worse situation than what we in now.
No, we wouldn't. We just have Chad and Tara. That's okay. Having Chad and Tara is enough.
No, it's not. Man, let's just call a spade a spade. Mason Gooding, love you, man. But the Chad ain't chatting. He ain't chatting. He ain't Chad. You talking about ain't enough character development? Goodness gracious.
They fleshed him out some more in Scream 6.
He is there. At least Jerry O'Connell was acting. General O'Connell had face, and had. Chad ain't doing nothing but being cute.
I'm sorry,
That's
y'all.
enough.
I'm still upset.
It's not for a Scream.
It's been 26 years.
It's been
26 years. Wait, has it been 26 years or 25 years?
27.
It's been 26 to Scream 2.
Oh, Scream 5 was it's 27.
So it's been 27 years.
26.
Yes, because last year was the last year.
Yeah, 26.
Because last year was the 25th reunion. So remember, what I'm trying to say is that I'm still upset about Derek's death. That's one death from Scream. Derek
broke my heart, and that's how they should do Chad.
But see, that's what makes Scream effective. I'm happy. I'm happy and sad because I do see character development with that character. But that's what makes Scream effective. When you do things that are not effective, or you give us false things that aren't what they were or what they seem to be, it's kind of like, damn near Scream 6 could have kept Annika alive if you don't keep.
But see, the thing of the matter is that Scream, they had that moment. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. As much as I liked that he survived that shit, when Chad got gutted the way he did.
Which time we talking about, Mark?
I'm talking about the very end.
You talking about the 6?
I'm talking about part 6 when his ass got just shanked.
Yeah.
I was like, they done killed this motherfucker. That was his Dewey moment, and that was his Derek moment. That was it.
If they don't have a scene in this new movie with Chad taking his shirt off and we get to see all those cuts, they got to do something like that.
Yeah, that's good for his character development too.
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But you know what? I think Chad, if he had the room and he had like the right director and he had Kevin's writing, he could be a very compelling, great character to pair with Jenna Ortega.
Right.
He doesn't have Wes's direction, but I think he understands his character more. He may have needed some more time, just like Sam needed more time.
Right.
But we'll never know.
Does Chad still play football?
He had on a hoodie.
Because opening kill scene in a football locker room, that could be amazing.
I don't think it didn't Cracker do a time jump in.
Well, he don't have to be in the NFL.
No.
I mean, like college level.
No, not NFL. That's what I'm talking about. Do it while they're in college. Kill him while they're in college. Then do the time jump.
Cam,
I see that.
Can we take a moment? Since Scream 6 or Scream 2, Gail chase scene, which had the most suspense?
Well, you can't. Now you would almost have to take it in the effect of just not knowing the series and just looking at it, because they're for two different reasons. For 6, it's because we love this person, and we don't want to see her get hurt. But for 2, it's because of just the mere reason of seeing someone go through all these different walls, and we don't know where he is, and now he's sliding over, she's over, because we are her in that movie in 2.
Yeah.
In 6, we just want to protect her.
Yeah.
So for me, it's almost like two different reasons, depending on, do you know the series, or are you just watching them all and just kind of selecting?
So objectively speaking, right? Objectively speaking, if I think suspense, it may be 2 because the weaving in the that was heavy, and then seeing Dewey slaughtered in front of you, that's heavy.
Yeah, but so is seeing Gail lock a door and then be confident enough to open it with a gun.
Yeah,
that for me was like, this bitch just really opened this door.
That's made me love her even more.
And let me tell you something too. I don't think the Scream franchise gets enough credit for the usage of music during a suspenseful moment. Because if you're really paying attention, even that moment when she opens the door, there's this sound that it literally shudders your heart, because you don't know if he's right there or like what. Or even that little bit of a snapping sound when Tara And that y'all know what I'm talking about, right? That opening scene in 5 when Tara turns around and you hear something snap, and it's like a sound effect. It's like all these little key things for me has what made the franchise kind of like just elevate your heartbeat.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I don't know what's going to happen next. I'm excited to see what happens next. My heart's probably going to be broken throughout this whole process, but it already is. But again,
it already is.
A moment it's going to be a lot.
A moment of silence for Melissa Barrera and the Scream family and the fans.
She's coming back, but anyway,
okay. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. We will be back tomorrow with a few more things that's going on and some more ideas about Scream 7. I am Tamon and I. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and Twitch.
And you can find me at Instagram from Marco Estes or Midnight Social Distortion, Scream Kings on regular, time. And why he gonna do us like that?
What happened?
Critical.
What did he say? What did he say?
What
did he say?
You can find me at Marco Estes at X at the Anticritic, Midnight Social Distortion, and Marco Estes. And like I said, no Sydney, no Sam, no Scream 7. I still, even though we had a nice conversation, I still stand by that. So
absolutely. Well, I want to say thank you guys again for letting me on your platform. It always means a lot to me. You guys can find me on all platforms at Langston John Blaze with an X, on Twitter and Instagram.
Oh, and on that note, thanks for coming and hang out again, Screamers. We will see you all tomorrow and later on for more of season 2 of Scream Kings on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. Bye.
Bye, guys.